I'm 87 years old, and I want to tell you about the day I lost $300 million and why that wasn't even close to the worst thing that happened to me. I spent 52 years building an empire. Real estate investments, companies with my name on the door. By the time I was 75, I had more money than 3 generations of my family could ever spend. I thought I'd won. I thought I'd figured out the game of life. And if you're watching this, if something made you click on this video, you're probably chasing something similar. Success, security, the kind of wealth that makes you untouchable. Let me save you 52 years. You're climbing the wrong mountain. And by the time you reach the top and realize it, everyone you love will have stopped waiting for you at the bottom. I'm going to tell you what it took me 8 decades to understand. What cost me everything that actually mattered. Stay with me. This is going to hurt. I started with nothing. My father was a factory worker in Ohio. We lived in a 2-bedroom house with 6 people. I wore hand-me-down clothes and worked at a grocery store after school. I remember lying awake at night, listening to my parents argue about bills through the thin walls, and I made myself a promise I would never be poor. Never. That promise drove me for the next 5 decades. I was 22 when I bought my first property, a run-down duplex on the wrong side of town. I borrowed money from everyone I knew, worked 3 jobs, slept 4 hours a night, fixed it up with my own hands, rented it out, took the profit and bought another, then another. By 30, I owned 17 properties. By 40, I'd built my first commercial development. I got married at 25. Her name was Carol, sweet girl from my hometown, patient, understanding. She believed in me when I was sleeping in the office to save rent money. When I was eating ramen for dinner so I could reinvest every penny, she'd bring me home, cooked meals in Tupperware containers. I can still see her smile when she'd set them on my desk, telling me not to work too late. I always worked too late. Our son, Daniel, was born when I was 33. I was closing a deal in Boston. Didn't make it to the hospital until he was 2 days old. I remember holding him for the first time, this tiny person, and thinking, I'm doing this for you. Everything I'm building, it's all for you. That's what I told myself for the next 40 years. Every missed birthday, every school play I didn't attend, every little league game where he'd scan the bleachers looking for me and I wasn't there. I'm building an empire for him. He'll understand when he's older. He'll thank me. He never thanked me. I remember when Daniel was 7. We lived in a big house by then. 6 bedrooms, pool in the back, everything anyone could want. He came into my home office one Saturday morning. I was on a conference call with investors in Tokyo. He stood in the doorway in his baseball uniform, glove in hand, waiting. I waved him away, pointed at the phone, mouthed later. Later never came. I worked until evening. By the time I came out, Carol had taken him to the game. They came home with ice cream. Daniel didn't look at me, just walked past and went to his room. Carol said, he hit his first home run today. I said, that's great, and went back to my office to finish some paperwork. I didn't even ask which field it was at. I didn't ask if anyone got pictures. I didn't go to his room and ask him to tell me about it. I had deals to close, properties to acquire, an empire to build. For his whole childhood I was building, always one more deal away from, I don't even know what, enough, security. Proof that I wasn't the poor kid from Ohio anymore. I never stopped to ask myself, I just kept going. By the time Daniel was in high school, we barely spoke. I'd come home at 10, 11 at night. He'd be asleep or in his room. Carol would be reading in bed. She'd look up when I came in, and I'd see something in her eyes, disappointment that had turned into acceptance. She'd stopped expecting me to be there. She'd learned to parent alone, to go to parent-teacher conferences alone, to sit at the dinner table alone. I thought I was winning. My net worth was climbing every year. 30 million, 50 million, 100 million. People knew my name, wanted meetings with me, asked for my advice. I was on magazine covers, guest speaker at conferences. The boy from the factory worker family who built an empire, and my son couldn't stand to be in the same room with me. Daniel went to college across the country. Stanford. I wrote the tuition checks, big ones. Told him to focus on his studies, not worry about money. He came home for Thanksgiving his freshman year, stayed 3 days, barely spoke to me. Christmas, same thing. By sophomore year, he stopped coming home at all. Carol said, you need to talk to him. Really talk to him? I said. He's busy, building his own life. That's what kids do. But that wasn't what was happening. He was avoiding me. And I knew it. Deep down, I knew it. I just didn't know what to say to him. We'd never built the foundation. Never had those 1,000 small conversations that create a relationship. I'd been too busy building financial foundations. Literal foundations? Concrete and steel? Daniel graduated, got a job in Seattle, met a girl, got married. I found out from Carol he didn't call to tell me himself, didn't invite me to help plan the wedding. When the invitation came, it was formal, stiff, like I was a distant relative they were being polite to. I flew out for the wedding, stayed in a hotel. The ceremony was beautiful. Daniel looked happy, and I realized I didn't know him. Didn't know his friends, his interests, what made him laugh, what he dreamed about. I was his father and he was a stranger. At the reception, I tried to talk to him, congratulate him. He was polite, cold, like shaking hands with a business associate. His wife, Jennifer, was kind, but I could see it. She knew the stories. She knew I was the father who was never there. I was the ghost who sent checks. I flew home that night, sat in first class drinking scotch. Carol was asleep when I got home. I went to my office, sat in the dark, and for the first time in 50 years I felt it. The emptiness. 300 million in assets. Properties in 17 states. My name on buildings. And my son didn't want me at his wedding reception. But I still didn't change. You'd think that would be the moment. It wasn't. I went back to work. Told myself relationships take time. That Daniel would come around. That once he had kids, he'd understand what I'd been doing. That it would all make sense eventually. I was 75 when the market crashed. Not the big one everyone talks about. A different one. Commercial riverage properties. I'd borrowed against everything to expand. When the market turned, it turned fast. I lost property after property. Foreclosures. Legal battles. Within 18 months, it was gone. All of it. The $300 million I'd spent 2 years building gone. I was 77. Broke. Living in a condo Carol had owned outright, thank God. My name, the one that had been on buildings, was now a punchline. Former Titan loses everything. Cautionary tale. I got calls from journalists wanting to interview me about my fall from grace. And you want to know the truth? Losing the money didn't hurt as much as I thought it would. What hurt was calling Daniel to tell him, and hearing the silence on the other end of the line. Not shock, not sympathy, just nothing. He said, "Okay. Thanks for letting me know," like I'd told him about a change in the weather. That's when it hit me. When I finally understood, he didn't care about the money. He'd never cared about the money. He cared about having a father. And I'd spent 2 years choosing dollars over him. So here's what I learned. What I need you to understand before you make the mistakes I did. Money is a terrible god. I worshipped it. Every decision I made, I asked myself, will this make me richer? Not happier, not closer to my family, richer. And money is a cruel god. It demands everything, your time, your presence, your attention, your soul, and it gives you nothing back. It doesn't love you. It doesn't remember you. It doesn't show up when you're old and lonely and wondering where everyone went. I built $300 million. You know what I have now? A 1-bedroom condo and a son who calls me once a year on my birthday because his wife reminds him. The money didn't protect me from loss. It didn't save me from loneliness. It didn't buy me the only thing that actually matters, time with the people I loved. Your children don't want your empire. They want you. I thought I was building something for Daniel. A legacy, financial security, a head start in life. But that's not what children need. They need presence. They need you at the baseball game, at the dinner table, on Saturday morning when they want to show you something they drew. They need to know that you choose them over the deal, over the meeting, over the money. Daniel didn't need a trust fund. He needed a dad who asked about his day, who taught him to ride a bike, who showed up. And I gave him money instead, because money was easier. Money was what I knew how to do. Being a father, I never learned that. I was too busy. You can lose money and recover. You can't recover lost time. I'm 87 years old. I've been broke for 12 years now. And you want to know something? I've been happier broke than I ever was rich. Because losing everything taught me what I should have learned 50 years ago. Time is the only currency that actually matters. Every hour I spent in that office was an hour I didn't spend with Carol, with Daniel, with life. Every weekend I worked was a weekend I could have been building memories instead of buildings. And I can't get those hours back. I can't go back and choose different. That time is gone. You can make more money, you can rebuild a business, you can recover from financial losses. But you cannot recover a childhood. You cannot rebuild a relationship after decades of neglect. You cannot get back the Tuesday afternoon when your son was 7 and wanted to show you his science project, and you said, "Not now?" The finish line keeps moving until you're dead. I thought I'd stop at 10 million. Then it was 50, then 100, then 300. There was always one more deal, one more acquisition, one more zero to add. And I told myself, after this one, I'll slow down. After this one, I'll spend time with family. The after this one never comes. There's always another opportunity, another goal, another mountain. You'll chase it forever if you let it. Until you're 87 and alone and you realize the race had no finish line. You were just running until you couldn't run anymore. Your legacy isn't your net worth. It's whether people miss you when you're gone. I had my name on buildings, plaques in lobbies, magazine articles. I thought that was legacy. But those buildings have different names now. New owners, the plaques were taken down, the articles are forgotten. That's not legacy, that's just noise. Legacy is whether your son wants you at his wedding, whether your grandchildren ask about you, whether the people who knew you feel richer for having known you, not financially richer, human richer, and by that measure I failed. Completely. So what do you do with this? How do you not end up like me? If you're in your 20s or 30s right now, listen to me. You think you have time. You think you'll build the career first, then focus on family. That's what I thought. It's a lie. Your career will expand to fill every hour you give it. Your children will only be young once. Your parents will only be alive for so long. Your spouse will only wait so long before they learn to live without you. Set boundaries now. Not next year. Not after the promotion. Now, leave work at 6. Turn off your phone at dinner. Miss the meeting to make the soccer game. Your career will survive. I promise you, your career will be fine. But your son won't be 7 forever. Your daughter won't always want you to read her a bedtime story. Those moments have expiration dates. If you're in your 40s or 50s, you're where I was when I still could have changed everything. When Daniel was still young enough to forgive. When Carol was still asking me to come to bed earlier, come on vacation, spend a Saturday doing nothing. I didn't listen. Don't make my mistake. It's not too late, but it will be, soon. Your kids are growing up whether you're present for it or not. Your marriage is either growing closer or growing apart. There's no neutral. And every day you choose work over presence is a day you'll regret when you're my age. Apologize, change. Show up? Not someday. Today. If you're in your 60s or 70s, I know what you're thinking. That it's too late. That the damage is done. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. But I'll tell you this. Trying is better than living with the certainty that you didn't. Call your kids. Tell them you were wrong. Tell them you're sorry. Tell them you want whatever relationship they're willing to have, even if it's small. Some bridges can be rebuilt. Some can't. But you owe it to them and yourself to try. You don't have forever.